Welcome everybody. I'm now going to take us through the second piece in the book, The Light of Creation. The first piece the rabbi just took us through, and that was how we received ore and kalim, light and vessels. And the second aspect of this book is to do with Einstein's Theory of Relativity. When the rabbi introduced me to this code, to this piece that he received, I was completely blown away, and it had an incredibly powerful effect on my life. I want to start by saying that when an equation, or when there's a discovery in reality that people get behind, it's because it has depicted a moment in time where something that already existed is revealed, and is revealed to be something that we didn't know, but it was always the case. So for example, gravity. When we realized that gravity existed, it had always existed, but there was depicted a shift in reality because we now knew that it existed. And the same was true when we realized that the world wasn't flat, that it was round. Think about the shift that happens in people's minds to go from believing that you could fall off the edge of the earth to realizing that you cannot fall off the edge of the earth. That is a shift in reality. And so another equation, an equation that had the same kind of impact in our lives, in shifting reality, was Einstein's Theory of Relativity. And what the rabbi has done is to show that this equation is found within the word Bereshit, which is the first book of the Torah, which means creation. It's this word is the exact same equation as E equals mc squared, the theory of relativity. Okay, so let's look at the theory of relativity. E is energy, and it is the resultant of the entire equation. It's the result of what happens on the other side of the equation. So in this case, in the case of the word Bereshit, the letters that are equivalent to E are Resh, Shin, Taf. Resh, Shin, Taf in Gematria are 200, 300, 400. There is increments of 100 between all three letters. There is a consistency that is stable and perfect. And that is so important, that the result be consistent and stable. That is what all of us are acquiring in our lives. We want to know that the result of the way reality works is stable and consistent, that we aren't concerned by doubts because we see the results show up again and again and again, that whatever we want, we see the results showing up again and again. That's what we want for a result. So that is the element of the equation that is the E, the energy, that the energy is a perfect flow. Let's go into actually what E equals mc squared is. Energy equals m, mass, times light squared. That's what the theory of relativity is. So the C, which is light, the C squared, we've already established that Yud is light, because we saw from the fission process that the Aleph went through. The Aleph being 2 Yuds and a Vav in the middle. Light above in the heavens, light below on earth, cloaked, camouflaged, if you like, by the Vav, the mundane. So we know that Yud is light. So now we have Yud accounted for. So within the word Bereshit, of the letters of the word Bereshit, we've now accounted for the Resh, the Shin, the Taf, and the Yud, and all that is left are the Aleph and the Bet. So the Aleph and the Bet, they are the mass. They comprise the entire Aleph Bet. The Aleph Bet is the alphabet, the entire Hebrew alphabet. And the Hebrew alphabet isn't just letters. It is permutations of everything. Everything is encompassed within the Aleph Bet. Because as we've already seen, excuse me, all letters can be reduced to numbers in the Aleph Bet. So then all numbers are encompassed within it, and all aspects of reality are encompassed within the Aleph Bet. So that would be mass. So now we have the equation. Resh Shin Taf equals, and it would be written Aleph Bet Yud squared. Resh Shin Taf equals Aleph Bet Yud squared. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the mathematics of the equation. This is where it really comes alive. And the reason that we're doing this is because the importance at this time for the people of this time, for all of us, to know that we're living in a consistent reality, that we can trust that we can trust that the results in our life, we can trust them to be consistent. We're no longer living as though we're walking on quicksand. We don't know what's going on. Everything that we're doing in this work is to elevate everybody, activate the reality of the way things really are for everybody, so that everybody can feel safe and secure and fully enmeshed in the way things actually are, which is perfect. Okay, so the mathematics of the equation. Let's start with the Yud that we're going to square. So the Yud was light squared. So we're going to start by squaring the Yud, which is 10, which makes 100. So we're squaring 10 to make 100. So that's the first part. Then what we're going to do is we're going to times 100 by the next letter, which is Bet, because you would times the light squared by the mass to make the resultant, the energy. So we're timesing the 100 by the Bet, which is the 2, which is 2. So we're timesing 100 by 2, which makes 200. If we go to the other side of the equal sign, the Resh is 200. Now, if we go back to the Yud squared, the 100, and this time we times it by Bet plus Aleph, which is the fullness of the mass part of the equation. It's 2 plus 1, which equals 3. 3 times 100 is 300. Go to the other side of the equal sign, the Shin is 300. So now we have accounted for the Resh and the Shin in this equation, and we can see the building of momentum. And the Taf is there. And this is what lends itself to a very, very important aspect of creation, a very important aspect of the mind that is often overlooked. See, the Taf at this stage is implied, but not fully accounted for in the mathematics. But that implication is incredibly important because it lends itself to the aspect of bitachon that we all have available to us within our own being. And bitachon is knowing. It's knowing. It's a part of intelligence that is imperative at this time. It's a part of intelligence where we are gifted a command of our mind, because we know, because we are aligning ourselves, we are tethering ourselves to the quality of knowing that the perfection or the consistency of going up in increments of 100 is going to continue. Another way of saying that is that the consistency of the results in our life is going to continue. There is that aspect of our being is a very important aspect as we move into the next dimension of reality, that we gain confidence and align ourselves and commit ourselves to remaining open to receiving the clarity within our own minds of that perfection continuing, that there is consistency even if we don't see it yet, that it's okay if we don't see it yet, because it will become clear at a later stage. And that's something that we have to get comfortable with as a society, that we're not necessarily going to always have all the answers, but we can know that the answer is going to come to us in a consistent manner.